What I'm going to show you today is how easy it is to make these beautiful pendants from glass cabochons like this, or rondelles, or rondelle I think they're called as well. I also do it with resin because that's resin and that's resin. So if you've made some resin pendants and you want to put these on, then you can. I don't know if you saw my video where I made those. There's only a few things you're going to need to do this. It does take a tiny bit of practice, but you should be able to get these done and made the first time doing them. And they are really pretty, look, different. You're going to need a few things. Firstly, you're going to need some of this sticky backed copper. And this is pure copper on here as well. It's really important that you get the pure copper one, because if not, you're not going to be able to get it. You can get it in rolls of thicker like that or thinner like that. I will link it in the description below, so don't worry. So if you want to have a go at that, then you can. You're also going to need some alcohol, some flux, a soldering iron, and some lead-free solder. I always use lead-free solder. I just think it's safer. Who wants lead around nowadays? And if you want to, you can have some patinas as well. So these have had a patina put on them. That one's had a patina put on them there to give it some shadow, and that one hasn't. But I'll show you how to do that. Copper wire of whatever size you want to make, because I make my own jump rings as well, and you want to be able to put a jump ring on them. Like I said, I will link everything I use today in the description below. So first thing to do is to make sure that you've cleaned your glass stone completely before you do anything else. And I'm using 99% alcohol to do that with. And the last thing you want to do is get your fingerprints on it. So once I've started cleaning it and then I'm giving it its final clean, I'll hold it with a piece of paper towel. Yeah, I'm really happy now. That should be squeaky clean. The next thing is to decide which way you want this up. So do you want it from the side like that, hanging down there like that, or do you want it on the narrower bit? Well, I'm going to have it in the narrower bit, and I'm going to have my top here. So all I need to do now is hold my stone now at the bottom, because I'm not going to be putting anything on that. So it doesn't matter if it's got my greasy fingerprints on it. And now what I'm going to do is take the backing off this and lay it on my stone. Now you're not going to get, the way this works, you aren't always going to get a nice neat edge, but I'm going to show you how you can get rid of that if you don't. So I've got that on there now like that. And now what you need to do is push this down so it's really adhering well all the way around that stone. And this stuff is designed to stick on to glass. It's how they make the Tiffany lamps and all those sorts of things. Now we've got a bit going across the top there that hasn't got any copper on it. So all we need to do is cover that now using a bit of copper. Push that down and then cover that last gap there. Because if you've got any areas of glass, then they're never going to get any solder on them. So that's now completely covered. But can you see I've got that overlap there where I've put this straight edge on a curve. So all I'm going to do now is get my knife and blade and take that off. Now you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can have it the natural shape, but I prefer to have it like that. Now what you need to do is take a bone folder or a fid and really push that down, going over it. Now you're not, unless you push like a maniac, you're not actually going to do any damage to that copper. All you're going to do is to make sure that's really well adhered onto there. So I'm going to go over that now like that until I'm pleased that it's all stuck down. So I'm really pleased with how that's gone down now. And as you can see, that is really quite flush everywhere. Now, before I do anything else to this, what I'm going to do again is now give this copper a little bit of a run over with 99% alcohol. Because where my fingers have been on it and it may have tarnished slightly, it's going to have like a repellent on it and make it much more difficult to put the silver solder on it. That should be nice and clean now. Just give that a little bit more of a buff. That's all dry. And now I'm going to take my flux and I'm going to cover this in flux. And you know if your copper's clean, it goes on really smooth all the way over it and doesn't pool anywhere. So I'm happy with that. I think that's covered everywhere. And I can leave that now for a few seconds while I show you the solder iron. So this is the solder iron that I've got here. You can adjust the temperature on this solder iron. It comes with a bit to put it in, and it also comes with a sponge here that you fill with water and you can clean your iron as you're going along, and that's quite important. You've also got a piece here where you can add your spare soldering tips. Now for this one I'm using a flat-ended solder tip, but you do get quite a lot with it, and you can store them in here. And to be honest, this does everything I need for this type of work, and I do stained glass work as well, and I've been doing that for years, and this works really well for me. And I think it was about $38 or pounds, so not expensive, because some of them are hundreds of pounds. So I keep it to the side of me. I've got it here, and then I can use the solder tip when I need it. This is my lead-free solder. Now I'm not sure if I've had this quite a long while because I've bought tons of it. I use it, as I said, for my glass work, but I will certainly link a lead-free solder for you that you can use. Now why I like this is you can bend it like that to be able to then use it, but you can with most solders anyway. So your glass isn't going to get hot. Well, it's not going to get really hot because it's not a great conductor of heat. So what I do is I load up my soldering iron like that, and then I start to put my solder on here. And remember, it'll only go where you've got the copper, or it'll only stick to where you've got the copper. And it's really important to use a flux. It'll only go where you've got the copper. Can you see? And now I can heat that up and move that off. And those dry bits there, I'll be able to pick off in a minute. Now it is hot. Don't get it on your hands. So once I've got a bit on there like this, I will start to use the solder iron and spread that out right the way across. Now you can go for a more smooth finish if you want to and have that, but I like the patterned part of it, and I'll show you how I add the pattern to it in a second. So once I've got it all covered, even though there's a bit dropped on there, I can actually lift that up and put that on there. Or work on something that's you're happy either to get little burns in, or work on a slab like this that is heat proof, fireproof. Once I'm confident I've covered all my copper with the solder, and you can get silver solder with real silver in it as well, that's when I'm going to start adding my texture. So I'm going to give my tip a clean with my wet sponge, and now I'm going to grab a bit of solder and then pop it on there like that. Now when you lift it up, you might get a little sharp point on it, and the last thing you want is any sharp points on something. So all you need to do is pop your soldering iron on that, and it will disappear. Just have fun with how you're gonna, what sort of patterns you want to make. If you're doing it on resin, try not to overdo it. The least amount of time you have your solder on hot and on your resin pieces, the better, because resin isn't glass and it will conduct heat and it could damage the resin. I'm very quick and very careful when I do that. I do it on glass pieces first before you try it on any resin pieces. And I tend to have the piece that I'm going to have as the front more textured than the piece I'm going to have at the back as well. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I get that one last look over. I'm quite happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is leave that to cool down for a little while, purely because I'm going to show you how I make my jump rings. I either make the smaller ones round a pencil or the larger ones round my Sharpie. And all I do is I get them like this, get the wire like this, wrap it around as close to itself as I can, like that, quite tight, and then pull that off, and then I cut through them with my nippers. You can cut them with a jewellery saw if you've got one as well. So there we go. And now what I do is I tend to open them up, take a metal file, and then file each end flat so that they close up a little bit better, because that is the only trouble when you cut them with cutters. They do tend to not be flush, those bits. It doesn't matter, quick file will get them down. Then I shut them like that. So I'm going to put one of those onto the end here. I'll pop that into some sand. I like to use that as my third arm or third hand. And then I'll get a file. If you don't have a file, you can do this with sandpaper. And then where they've joined, I make that a little bit flatter there. And then I clean inside it as well and all around the edges. And then I'll put a tiny bit of flux on that as well, making sure that it gets everywhere. And then using a pair of my pliers or a pair of tweezers, I will hold that in position like that, and then I will solder that on. Now my tremor doesn't help me here at all, but I do manage. Then I get a bit of solder and I make a connection, bit of flux there as well. And then I just solder over the middle of this. And then once I've got that connection, I will take it out. I'll get rid of some of the sand. Don't need that on there. And then I will make sure I've got a really solid connection. So I'll use a bit on the back like that. Make sure I've got it in the middle. Make sure I've got it at the front and either side of that jump ring as well. Now you can put solder on your jump ring as well if you wish by just putting a little bit on there. I like to do that on some of them. I don't always do it. And that colours that in the same colour. And all I do is I run my solder iron around it. It's had flux on it, so it should be clean. And that will colour it the same colour. Check over it again. Just see if there's any bits that I want to change slightly. No, I'm really happy with that. So now that looks like that, and we need to clean that up because we want to get rid of the flux and everything else that's on there. And all I've got here is some soapy water and a brush. Going over this and trying to get as much of that off as I possibly can. I clean several, then I put the copper tape on them, and then I solder them, and then I clean them, and then I do the patina on it. So that should be clean now. I'm going to quickly run that under some cold water to get rid of any soapy bubbles and residue from that. And now I'm going to be using the patina. And this comes in a liquid. Now, I wear gloves when I'm using this because it can be caustic. And this is not to be used by children either because it is toxic. So that's all nice and dry. And all I'm going to do now is get a brush, clean brush, get my brush in there, and then pop that on. And you'll see it turn it black straight away because this is the black patina that I'm using. And I also have a copper one. I like the black one, to be honest, the best. And now I'm going to leave that on there for about 5 minutes. So once that's all dried on there and you're happy with that, what you can do is go over it now with some wire wool like this and polish that up. I don't use wire wool because that takes too long for me. I do use it at the end, but as I've got a Dremel, I might as well use my Dremel. And I use these like rough bits in them. They're not wire, but they're quite good at sanding and polishing. And all I do is I put one in there, turn my Dremel on, and then polish that through with it. And you'll see how quick it does it. But if you haven't got a Dremel and you want to use wire wool, then it works just as well. Because I do use the wire wool as the finish. And you can take off as much or as little of this as you want, this patina. And now what I'll do is I'll give that a final polish with the wire wool because I find that brings it up a little bit brighter. And that one, I've left more patina on than that one. But I actually really like it. And now what I'll do is give the stone a quick polish. Again, I'll use the 99% alcohol just to give that stone a bit of a clean in case there's any flux or anything on there or patina or anything like that. That'll clean that off lovely. Give it a polish and there we go. How easy is that to do? And can you see what I mean by the texture? If you'd left that smooth, I think I have one that's smooth. Yeah, I left the one on the back of that one fairly smooth. That's a resin one. The front not so much, but the back fairly smooth. It doesn't give you quite as nice a finish, I don't think, but you go for whatever you want to go for. Like I said, you don't have to have the patina on it at all. For this piece of sea glass, I didn't put any patina on that. That is just how it is. And if I want to polish that up, I can use a bit of wire wool and get that quite silvery. I mean, it will tarnish over time and you can just polish it up again. And now all you got to do is put a chain on there and you've got a pendant ready to go. Really easy to do. I think they look amazing. And you can get these cabochons or in lots of different colours. And you can get sea glass as well in lots of different colours. So I did all these today. It probably took me about an hour to do them all in total. Because, like I said, I worked as a little production line. And I wanted to have more to show you. But they do come out looking amazing. I hope you have a go and let me know how it goes as well. I'd be interested to know. Be careful when you're using a solder iron, don't burn yourself, get the lead-free solder, and I will link everything that I've used today in the description below. Be sure to check out where I made the mirror out of stained glass, like a Tiffany style. That's coming up next. Boot the like button, hit the subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your crafting. Take care. Bye.